getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright. Nigga, we then she look at me, she got ADHD. Full of liquor, then you dive in it. Sit down, be humble. Sit down. I don't even want your congratulations. I recognize your false confidence and calculation. They not like us.
The rap world been buzzing over the weekend. The internet on fire. Are you Team Drake or Team Kendrick Lamar?
What happens when a kid from Compton becomes the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize, then gets sued for defamation by the biggest artist in the world and wins?
They not like. You think the bank gon' let you disrespect pop?
Born June 17, 1987, Kendrick Lamar Duckworth transformed from a shy kid witnessing gang violence in one of America's deadliest cities into the most critically acclaimed rapper of his generation.
Been in my own bubble, whether it's with the fam or whether it's training. How I process it all is just, I continue to do what I was doing 10 years ago, and that's like, better in myself, better in the craft, and not look at his bright lights, you know?
But before we dive into that Drake lawsuit that shook the industry in 2024, that Super Bowl performance that had 135 million people watching, and how he made hip-hop intellectual again, you need to know 2 shocking secrets that define his journey. First, this man who preaches positivity and self-love battled severe depression that nearly destroyed him at the height of his fame.
Nothing about it's out of my control. I don't can put it in God's hands. I couldn't understand that. And that can draw a thin line, you know, between you having your sanity and you.
And second, the same artist who conservatives tried to cancel for using offensive language in Auntie Diaries is now the moral compass of hip-hop.
Man, now, I think I'm old enough to understand now.
Whether the culture asks for it or not.
Together, for me personally, it's a strategic way. You know, I'm not just glorifying the streets of whatnot. You know, it's a reality check, but it's for the better at the end of the day.
By the end of this story, you'll understand why LeBron James calls him to open up arenas, why President Obama had him on speed dial, and why his music gets studied in universities like literature.
We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
June 17, 1987, Compton, California. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth entered a world where survival wasn't guaranteed, where the sound of gunshots was the neighborhood lullaby.
'Cause ignorance is bliss.
And where most kids his age had 2 options: join a gang or become a statistic. His parents had moved from Chicago's South Side to Compton, seeking a better life, escaping one war zone only to land in another. But they brought something crucial with them: hope, discipline, and the understanding that education and creativity were the only real exit strategies.
Hoping that I live a lot. I don't wanna die young. Please don't come shoot up my.
Kendrick was quiet, observant, the kid who noticed everything but said little. While other children played outside, he stayed inside, absorbing the chaos around him, filing away every image, every conversation, every moment of violence and beauty that would later become his catalog.
I wanna be with you.
At 8 years old, he watched Tupac and Dr. Dre film the California Love video in Compton. That moment planted a seed. If they could escape through music, maybe he could too.
And this is rigor mortis, and it's gorgeous when you die. I recorded and I'm.
His parents named him after Eddie Kendricks of the Temptations, and that musical DNA ran deep. But Kendrick didn't start as a rapper. He started as a student, a kid who loved words, who wrote constantly, who understood that language was power. At Centennial High School, he wasn't the popular kid, wasn't the athlete, wasn't the class clown. He was the quiet one with the notebook, always writing, always observing.
Like this, I'd rather be interacting with a person, you know, rather than gathering up information, you know, from somewhere else. Speaking to a person with wisdom that been here before me.
By 16, Kendrick released his first mixtape, Youngest Head Nigga in Charge, under the name K-Dot. It was raw, unpolished, but showed glimpses of something special. He caught the attention of local producer Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, who saw past the shy demeanor and recognized genius. Top Dog didn't just sign Kendrick, he invested in him, believed in him when no one else did, protected him from the industry vultures who would have chewed him up and spit him out.
Whoever knew him a long time, he always said, K-Dot's gonna do something in this game. Way before I even believed it. I was in the studio just playing around. He grabbed me and J-Rock off the streets.
In 2009, Kendrick dropped Overly Dedicated, his first official release under Top Dog Entertainment.
She got me going, I'm all in, 50 stories, I'm falling.
Critics noticed, the West Coast hip-hop community noticed, but mainstream America, not yet. He was still K-Dot to most people, still the underground artist that only real hip-hop heads knew about. Then came 2011 and Section 80, the independent album that changed everything.
Then she look at me, she got ADHD.
Section 80 wasn't just rap music. It was social commentary, generational therapy, and street journalism, wrapped in complex wordplay and unconventional production. Songs like ADHD and Rigor Mortis showcased a lyrical dexterity that hadn't been seen since prime Eminem or Andre 3000.
And it's gorgeous when you die. I recorded and I'm Morpheus, the Matrix in my mind.
Dr. Dre heard it and immediately called. The cosign from the man who discovered Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and 50 Cent meant everything. In October 2012, Kendrick signed to Aftermath Entertainment and Interscope Records through Top Dog Entertainment, but he maintained creative control, a rarity in the industry. That same month, he released Good Kid, Mad City, and hip-hop was never the same.
Watch, I got a swimming pool full of liquor and they die.
Good Kid, Mad City was a cinematic masterpiece, a concept album that played like a Martin Scorsese film set in Compton. Every song connected, every skit meant something, every bar served the larger narrative of a good kid trying to survive a mad city. Swimming Pools became a radio hit despite being an anti-drinking anthem. Poetic Justice with Drake showed he could make hits without compromising.
Poetic justice, put it in a song, alright.
The Art of Peer Pressure documented how easily good kids get caught up. Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst was 12 minutes of raw emotion that felt like a short film. But while the rap world debated his King of New York claim, Kendrick was in the studio working on something that would transcend hip-hop entirely. In March 2015, he released To Pimp a Butterfly, an album so complex, so jazz-influenced, so politically charged that it confused as many people as it inspired.
Me talking about my faults, especially on records like You Ain't Got a Lie to Kick It, Black of the Berry. All these are therapeutic songs for me.
To Pimp a Butterfly featured live instrumentation from jazz legends like Kamasi Washington, Robert Glasper, and Thundercat. Songs like King Kunta sampled the funk.
Now I run the game, got the whole world talking King Kunta. Everybody wanna cut the leg.
All Right became the anthem of the Black Lives Matter movement. The Blacker the Berry confronted racial identity head-on. And I was an affirmation of self-love that felt revolutionary coming from a rapper.
Fucked up, but if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
The album debuted at #1, sold over 1 million copies, and won 5 Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album. Critics called it a masterpiece. Universities added it to the curriculum, but not everyone was ready for it. Some fans wanted the good kid, Mad City Kendrick back. They called the album preachy, said he was trying too hard to be conscious, criticized the jazz influence as pretentious.
It's out of your control to handle, you know what I'm saying?
People would think that would take you away, the money, the lifestyle. You're able to take a lot of those people that would usually be from the hood.
Kendrick didn't care. He was on a mission now, and commercial success wasn't the primary goal anymore. He was trying to save lives, starting with his own.
You're around so many different faces that you don't quite understand and meet different people, and things are going on back home that it's out of your control to handle. You know what I'm saying?
The depression hit hard during this period. Success brought new pressures. Family members he couldn't save from street life, friends dying while he was on tour, the weight of being called the voice of a generation when he was still figuring himself out. He poured all of that pain into the music, using his art as therapy, as confession, as a way to process trauma he couldn't escape. In 2016, Kendrick released Untitled Unmastered, a collection of unreleased demos from the To Pimp a Butterfly sessions. Even his throwaway tracks were better than most artists' lead singles. Then, in April 2017, he dropped Damn and changed the game again.
Sit down. Be humble.
Damn was more accessible than To Pimp a Butterfly, but equally brilliant. Humble became a cultural phenomenon with its bizarre music video. DNA was pure aggression. Love, featuring Zakari, showed vulnerability. Element was confidence personified.
They won't take me on my element. Nah, take me on my element. I'm allergic to a bitch, nigga.
The album debuted at #1, sold over 3 million copies, and earned Kendrick 5 Grammy Awards.
And putting that paint on the canvas for the world to evolve for the next listener, the next generation after that, you know?
But the real shock came in April 2018 when Kendrick became the first non-classical, non-jazz artist to win the Pulitzer Prize for music.
Honor, you know? Been writing my whole life, so to get this type of recognition, it's beautiful.
The Pulitzer Prize, an award typically reserved for symphonies and operas. They gave it to a rapper from Compton for Damn, citing its vernacular authenticity and rhythmic dynamism that offers affecting vignettes capturing the complexity of modern African American life.
This is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about, and I feel accomplished being able to do that.
Hip-hop had arrived at the highest levels of artistic recognition, and Kendrick was the one who carried it there. But personal success couldn't shield him from heartbreak. His friend and collaborator Mac Miller died of an overdose in September 2018. Nipsey Hussle, a fellow West Coast legend and close friend, was murdered in March 2019. The losses accumulated, the depression deepened, but Kendrick kept moving. In May 2022, after a 5-year album drought, Kendrick released Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, a double album that was part therapy session, part cultural critique, part family photo album. He rapped about generational trauma, about infidelity, about his struggles with monogamy, about everything the culture didn't want to hear.
You entertain the mediocre, need to stop it.
One song in particular sparked massive controversy. Auntie Diaries told the story of Kendrick's trans relatives and used language that some in the LGBTQ+ community found offensive.
We know no better. Middle school kids with no filter, however.
He used the F-slur multiple times while depicting a trans character, and critics argued that regardless of his intentions to show growth and acceptance, the language was harmful and perpetuated stereotypes. According to NPR, the controversy highlighted the tension between artistic expression and social responsibility, with some defending Kendrick's storytelling, while others felt he'd missed the mark on representing trans experiences responsibly. Kendrick stood by the song, arguing it showed his evolution from ignorance to understanding, that the uncomfortable language was part of depicting real conversations and real growth. But the damage was done. For the first time in his career, sections of his fan base questioned whether he'd gone too far. Then came 2024, and everything exploded. The tension between Kendrick Lamar and Drake had been simmering for years. Subliminal shots and verses, coded references in interviews, competitive energy masked as respect. But in March 2024, it went nuclear. J. Cole dropped 7-minute Drill dissing Kendrick.
If he wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing. Lord, don't make me have to smoke.
Kendrick responded. Cole apologized and bowed out. But Drake was all in. The diss tracks flew fast. Drake dropped Push-Ups and tailor-made Freestyle.
Cause we gotta see the split. The way you doing splits, bitch, your pants might rip.
Kendrick responded with Euphoria, a 6-minute dismantling of everything Drake represented.
You're not a rap artist, you're a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. Tommy Hill.
Then came 616 in LA, then Meet the Grams, and finally Not Like Us, the song that would change everything.
Bully the floor on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young.
Not Like Us wasn't just a diss track, it was a cultural moment. Kendrick accused Drake of serious misconduct, questioned his authenticity, and did it all over a West Coast beat that became the song of the summer. The track went viral on TikTok, played in clubs worldwide, and had people who never followed rap beef suddenly picking sides. Drake's response was unprecedented. He sued Universal Music Group for defamation, claiming the lyrics damaged his reputation and that UMG had promoted a song containing false allegations against him. The lawsuit argued that a corporation shouldn't profit from distributing defamatory content, even if it's presented as artistic expression.
And come from the most vulnerable place where people can actually feel it. I think that is, for me, that's the role for me as an artist. I don't give a fuck what place it come from. I could be the most.
In August 2024, a judge dismissed Drake's lawsuit, ruling that Kendrick's lyrics were protected as opinion and artistic expression under the First Amendment. The ruling set a crucial precedent. Diss tracks, no matter how harsh, were still protected speech. Kendrick had won, not just the battle, but the war. Hip-hop culture had survived its biggest legal test in years. By late 2024, Kendrick was untouchable. His rival had sued and lost. His music was being taught in universities. His influence was undeniable. So when the NFL called asking if he'd headline Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, there was only one answer. February 9th, 2025, New Orleans, the Superdome. Kendrick took the stage for the biggest performance of his life, with 80,000 people in the stadium and 135 million watching worldwide. He brought out SZA for All the Stars, surprised everyone with a medley spanning his entire catalog, and delivered a performance that critics immediately called one of the greatest halftime shows in Super Bowl history.
I wanted to carry over to New Orleans and for the world to see. This is me, this is Kendrick Lamar, 37 years old.
The performance wasn't just entertainment, it was a statement. A kid from Compton had conquered the biggest stage in American sports. The same artist that conservatives had criticized, that Drake had tried to sue, that skeptics said was too preachy, had just unified the country for 13 minutes through pure artistry. Following the Super Bowl, Kendrick launched his Big Steppers tour with new material and deep cuts that hardcore fans had been begging to hear live. He's currently working on new music under his own label, PGA Lang, which he founded with longtime collaborator Dave Free. PGA Lang isn't just a record label, it's a multimedia company focused on music, film, fashion, and books, giving Kendrick complete creative control over every aspect of his artistry. He remains engaged to his high school sweetheart, Whitney Alford, and together they have 2 children whose names and details they've kept fiercely private. Kendrick learned from watching other artists' families get destroyed by public scrutiny. He refuses to let that happen to his. His relationship with Whitney is one of the few parts of his life he doesn't discuss, doesn't reference in songs, doesn't offer up for public consumption. As of 2025, Kendrick Lamar's net worth is estimated at $140 million. For context, that's less than Drake's reported $250 million, less than Jay-Z's billion-dollar empire, but it's built entirely on artistic integrity rather than commercial compromise. Every dollar came from music that challenged listeners, performances that left audiences speechless, and business decisions that prioritized legacy over quick cash. He's won 17 Grammy Awards from 52 nominations.
The Grammy goes to, even if it's not you, Beyonce, I might just say this. Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar.
A Pulitzer Prize, countless BET Awards, MTV VMAs, and virtually every other accolade hip-hop offers. But more importantly, he's changed what's possible in rap music. Before Kendrick, mainstream rap was either party music or street anthems. Kendrick proved you could be commercially successful while discussing depression, you could top charts while sampling jazz, you could sell out arenas while critiquing capitalism.
We're gonna dedicate this one to the city. Compton, Watts. Yeah.
Put my words together, for me personally, it's a strategic way. You know, I'm not just glorifying the streets of whatnot. You know, it's a reality check, but it's for the better at the end of the day.
But not everyone's happy with Kendrick's self-appointed role as hip-hop's conscience. Some critics argue he's too judgmental, too preachy, that he talks down to other rappers while claiming to lift the culture up. The control verse that revitalized competition also created resentment. Some of those rappers he called out still haven't forgiven him. And his comments about Ferguson in 2013, where he said, "We don't respect ourselves, how can we expect them to respect us?" drew criticism from activists who felt he was blaming Black communities for systemic oppression.
When I say things like we need to respect, I'm not only talking about a Black, I'm talking about myself. Right. Everything comes from me first. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations, and I still deal with these situations today.
Kendrick responded then the same way he responds now, by pointing to his music. Everything he preaches externally, he preaches to himself first. When he talks about self-respect, he's talking about his own struggles. When he discusses depression, he's in therapy processing his own trauma. When he critiques materialism, he's checking his own relationship with wealth. He's not perfect, never claimed to be, and that honesty is what separates him from preachers who talk down from pedestals they don't deserve to stand on.
Trying to keep the balance, I'm staying strong.
His relationship with Top Dog Entertainment remains strong, though he's taken more control through PGLang. He still works with his day one producers, Soundwave, Thundercat, and others who've been there since he was K-Dot selling mixtapes. He still visits Compton regularly, still mentors young artists, still shows up for his community in ways cameras don't capture.
How many singles you can sell, how many albums you can sell. Make the connection some way. Make people say, okay, this is hip hop. This is our culture. We're going to stand by it. We're going to believe it rather than jumping on the next artist when they feel like.
Current projects include a rumored collaboration album with Baby Keem, his cousin and protege, who's become a star in his own right. There's talk of a film project through PGLang, though details remain scarce. Kendrick's working with Dr. Dre on something. He won't say what, but insiders suggest it could be his most ambitious project yet. And of course, there's always new music brewing, though Kendrick refuses to rush his creative process for anyone.
I did the majority of the record going back when the mixing was through analog, the same stuff. For people who don't know what analog is, this is what Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, is what they recorded on prior.
From a shy kid in Compton to the Pulitzer Prize winner, from witnessing gang violence to headlining the Super Bowl, from being called too conscious to having his lyrics studied in Ivy League classrooms. From battling depression to becoming hip-hop's therapist. From being sued for defamation to having the lawsuit thrown out and vindicated in court. Kendrick Lamar didn't just survive Compton, he transcended it without ever forgetting it. He didn't just win the Drake battle, he proved that artistry matters more than streaming numbers. He didn't just make hit records, he made hip-hop intellectual without making it inaccessible. He showed an entire generation that you don't have to dumb yourself down to be successful, that consciousness and commercial success aren't mutually exclusive, that a kid from the worst zip code in America can win the most prestigious award in music. And when his career is over, when the albums are studied and the impact is measured, people will remember this. Kendrick Lamar made hip-hop grow up. He demanded more from the culture, and the culture rose to meet him. He didn't just document his generation, he shaped it, challenged it, and refused to let it settle for mediocrity. Whether you loved him for it or resented him for it, you couldn't ignore him. And that Drake lawsuit that tried to silence him, it just proved what we already knew. You can't sue greatness into submission.